I would like to welcome you all to the United States Army Sergeant First Class Fiorindo Fred Antonelli Memorial Square dedication. I am certainly humbled and grateful to be here today for this very special dedication to honor a man who dedicated over 20 years of his life in service to this country. During my time in the Army, we used to refer to soldiers like Sergeant First Class Antonelli as lifers. That's what they were called. They were called lifers because they pretty much dedicated their life to this country and this community and this family. And we always held them in the highest esteem. Thank you, Mary Ann. I'm more than pleased to serve as your Master of Ceremonies. This really is a beautiful morning, isn't it? There are a lot of more important people here today than me, so I'm going to be very, very brief, but I especially want to introduce and acknowledge and welcome the Antonelli family. Most of you who are able to be here with us today, and a few who could not make it. I think everybody knows that Fred's son Christopher and his wife Nadia and the two children are in Hong Kong. And we're certainly going to miss them here today, but I know they're here in spirit, as they loved their dad. And they're, no, did I say it right? Yep. A whole big bunch. I'd like to especially acknowledge Fred's wife, Mary Ann. Fred and Mary Ann were married 47 years. His 3 sons and a daughter, Philip, Christopher, who can't be here, Greg and Lisa, as well as Fred's loving daughters-in-law, April, Nadia, and Karen, and his 7 adoring grandchildren who really miss their no-no. Juliana, Gabriella, Alessandra, Gennaro, Kygo, Nicholas, and Adriana. Did I get that right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing Fred Antonelli with all of us here today. Thank you so much. I would also like to acknowledge and thank Mayor Carla Di Maria and especially Rep. McGonigal as well. I know that Senator Sal DiDomenico was not able to be here with... Oh, he's here! Where are you? All right, Sal. But I wanted to thank all 3 of them for their unrelenting passion and commitment to the veterans in this community. And they make sure that our veterans are honored for their service to this great nation and this community. I would also like to acknowledge the Everett Police Honor Guard. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you. The DPW and facilities team and ECTV. I would also especially like to welcome our elected officials who are here today, most especially, specifically the lead sponsor of this legislation, Councilor Mike McLaughlin, as well as the councilors that are here as well. We have Councilor Fred Capone, Councilor Peter Napolitano, Councilor Rosa DeFlorio. Did I miss anybody? Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Councilor Mike Marchese. And then, last but certainly not least, Everett's Veterans Agent, Jerry Miranda. Jerry has devoted more than 20 years of her professional life in service to the veteran community here in Everett, and I thank her on behalf of the veterans. She's truly a special person. Quite honestly, this dedication is very special to me. as I remember it like it was just yesterday, marching aside of Sergeant First Class Fred Antonelli on Washington Street, headed towards the Glenwood Cemetery for the Memorial Day services. He was indeed a soldier's soldier. At this time, I'd ask you all to please stand. Honor Guard, post colors. And I'd like to call upon Jerry Miranda, the Veterans Agent for this community, to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you could please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. I would invite everybody to please take a seat. And for those of you that didn't want to take a seat, I guess you'll have to stand. At this time, I'd like to call upon the CEO and Mayor of this community, Mayor Carlo Di Maria. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Gene. Good morning, everyone. We can do a little better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Nice to see you all here. I know Fred would be especially proud to see all you here this morning. I'm sure he's looking down at us all, smiling, laughing at us that we have to go through life. He's celebrating with the Lord above, and just looking at his grandchildren. I know how much he loved them, and he loved his kids and his wife. And I get to personally say that I had many conversations with Fred Antonelli over my 46 years of life, and 25 plus years in politics. I got to talk to Fred, if it was at the bank, or in the square, or if it was with Philip or Greg, and his father, just having a conversation, and I got to know Fred. He was a wonderful human being, and I'm very proud that he was born in Italy, and a great Italian American, and he served his country. So that's especially really special to me, that something he did. Today we join together to honor and pay tribute to United States Army Sergeant First Class Fiorindo Fred Antonelli. Fred Antonelli was born on April 5th, 1943 in Osogna, Italy. He was just a young boy when he immigrated to America with his parents, Filippo and Anna Antonelli, along with two of his sisters, Ida and Joanne, and his brother Vincenzo. Fred's older sister Maria remained in Osogna, Italy. The family chose Everett as their new home and grew up on Ferry Street and then Belmont Street. Fred, along with his brother and sisters, attended the Everett Public Schools. At the age of 21, Fred Antonelli joined the United States Army on June 8, 1964. In just about 14 months, he was promoted 4 times as he obtained the rank of Specialist 5, which is the equal of a sergeant. U.S. Army Specialist 5 Antonelli served 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, assigned to the 137th Medical Detachment. The unit was located at Tan Son Nhat Air Base, which was a Republic of Vietnam Air Force facility close to the city of Saigon in southern Vietnam. After over 5 years of distinguished service to this country, Specialist Antonelli received an honorable discharge on May 13, 1967, and was a recipient of the Army Good Conduct Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Vietnam Service Medal, as well as the Vietnam Campaign Medal with 2 overseas bars. Fred returned home to Everett, and in 1972, he married his longtime sweetheart, Mary Ann Rizzo. The loving couple were blessed with 4 children: Philip, Christopher, Greg, and Lisa. And the family made their home right here at the corner of Bryant Street and Windsor Street. In the early years, Fred worked as a barber, as well as 2 other jobs to support the young and growing family. In 1979, Fred decided to rejoin the United States Army and served with the 338th Medical Detachment, first located at Hanscom Air Force Base in Bedford, Massachusetts, and then in Utica, New York. He retired from the U.S. Army in 1991 and held the rank of Sergeant First Class. Sergeant First Class Antonelli was proud of his military service, and he remained very close to many of his Army buddies. There was not one thing he would not do to help out a federal veteran in need. While Fred was officially retired, he then went to work full-time at the United States Post Office for a few years, followed by many years as a facility manager at the Everett Cooperative Bank. All the while, he worked in Arlington as Fred the Barber. Just about 2 months ago, Fred Antonelli lost his brave battle with cancer. He fought that war with strength and enduring courage. Fred never complained, and all the while kept his family close together and strong. Fred Antonelli was a true American patriot. His great love for his wife Mary Ann, his 4 children and 7 grandchildren, and his love of community and country should serve as an inspiration to all of us. Our community and country, especially the Antonelli family, have suffered a tremendous loss. We are all proud to call Fred one of Everett's very best. The United States Army Sergeant First Class Fiorindo Fred Antonelli Memorial Square is dedicated to this hero and his family. Thank you, and God bless.
At this time, it's certainly my pleasure to introduce to you our Massachusetts State Senator. He actually lives here in Everett, so Everett's own State Senator, Senator Sal DiDomenico.
Thank you, Jeannie. Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to say something that's not really appropriate as an elected official this morning, because I might get some of the people mad. But I've spoken at a lot of square dedications throughout my career, and I can tell you that this is one of the most meaningful square dedications that I've been a part of, because I knew Fred, and I knew him very, very well. And I count his family as my close friends. You know, some of you have heard me say that there are a lot of titles in this world that people aspire to be and aspire to have. President, CEO, director. Fred just wanted to be a good dad, a good husband, a good grandfather, and a good friend. And that is how we're going to remember Fred. And when you look back at people that are in your life, you know, Fred is one of those people that never just said to me, "How are you doing?" He said, "How is your wife? How are your kids?" And I can tell you, in politics, nobody asks about your family. They just want to know how you're doing. And the fact that he cared enough about my family to ask me how my wife was doing and how my kids are doing, that set Fred apart from other people as well. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I know the mayor talked about his military service and how close we all are up here, which is unusual. All of us here are very, very close to the Antonelli family, and to Fred and to Mary Ann and to his kids. And I just want to talk to the grandkids for a minute. When you look at this square and you see your grandfather's name up there, just know how great of a man he was. As you grow up, you're carrying the Antonelli name. It's a very, very good name and a proud name in the city. And you should know that your grandfather is a special, special man. So I want to thank the Antonelli family for all that you've done for our community, to Mary Ann, and to your kids, and to your grandkids. It's my pleasure to be here because Fred was my friend. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to call upon the state representative for the city of Everett, our state representative, Joseph P. McGonigal. Joe?
Thank you, Jeannie. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and special guests. On behalf of the Massachusetts House of Representatives and the son of a lieutenant colonel, it is my pleasure to be here. Though this is a difficult ceremony this morning that we're at because of our personal relationship with the Antonelli family. But I do want to congratulate all of you on this bittersweet, momentous occasion. And I do want to tell you, make no mistake about it, that Massachusetts leads the nation in providing veteran services and benefits in Everett. Everett leads the Commonwealth of Massachusetts with remembering and providing these veteran dedication squares. So I do want to thank our Mayor, Carlo Di Maria, and our Veteran Service Officer for taking the lead in this effort. Thank you. And finally, to everyone here, I hope that when you walk by this Veteran Square, that you always remember the spirit of Sergeant Fred Antonelli. I know I will. Thank you.
At this time, I'd ask you all to please stand for a minute for the playing of God Bless America. You can all please take a seat. Thanks, Bobby. At this time, I would call upon the lead sponsor of this legislation, Councilor Mike McLaughlin, to say a few words. Mike?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's a tough day for all of us to be here. Unfortunately, none of us really want to be here, but we do want to be here, right? Just 2 months ago yesterday, we lost Fred Antonelli. And first, let me start by saying that we have a mayor, Mayor Di Maria, who has never forgot our veterans in the city of Everett. We agree and disagree on different topics throughout the year. Whenever something is brought to the mayor's office for our veterans, the mayor can't say no, but anything but yes. So we should all give him another round of applause for all that he does for our veterans every day. So, excuse me, apologies. Fred was very special to all of us. Let me first acknowledge a couple other people that are in the audience. Our former Veterans Commissioner, Joe Hickey, who is here this morning with us. We want to welcome him back to Everett. Our former Ward 4 counselor and good friend of the Antonelli family, DJ Napolitano, is in the audience also. DJ. I also see my colleague from Ward 3, Councilor Anthony Piero, is here this morning with us. Candidate for City Council in Ward 6, Al Latanzi, has joined us this morning as well, as a friend of the family. Millie Cardillo, school committee member at large, is in the audience with us this morning also. Millie, thank you. So I had Fred passed away, and we came here to the family house to send our condolences to Mary Ann and Lisa and Greg, Phil and Chris. Excuse me, I apologize. I don't get too choked up too often, but I apologize. And as I left the house, I walked here to this corner, and I reflected on Fred's life and thought about who Fred was as a man. Fred was somebody that we should all try to be like. Fred was the man of men. He lived a quiet, humble life, but he did so much. Excuse me, I apologize. He did so much for so many. And for me as a young man, I got to know Fred. I knew Mary Ann. She was the secretary of my elementary school when I was in kindergarten. So I've known Mary Ann my whole life. Excuse me, I apologize. Great, so I came out here to the square and I sat on the wall and I reflected a little bit about my friend and all the good times that we had together. And I thought about the last time I saw Fred. We were up at Greg's house for Lisa's 40th birthday party and got the got to sit down and watch the baseball game with Fred. And that was the last time I saw Fred. And Fred loved and adored the Boston Red Sox. Few things that he really enjoyed in life. One was being a veteran. One was his Italian heritage. And think about it, it's October, it's Italian Heritage Month, and we're celebrating Fred Antonelli on Italian Heritage Month. How much more honorable can we get than that? So I thought about how could we honor Fred Antonelli, and I happened to look at this corner and realized there was no dedication on this corner. And I said, this is a symbol from above, that this is going to become Fred Antonelli Square dedication. This is a law, this is an ordinance that we passed in the City Council with the help of my colleagues, and again, support of Mayor DiMaria, that this will be here forever. This square dedication will forever be the Fred Antonelli Square dedication. So as Juliana and Gabriella and Gennaro, Alessandra, all the great Nicholas and Cargo and Adriana grow up, they're going to be able to come here and remember Nonno, remember his life. Excuse me, I apologize. As we all have done, we've remembered Fred today and the hundreds of people that attended his services just 2 months ago. So again, it's truly an honor for me to be here this morning. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. And could I ask Mrs. Antonelli to come up for one special presentation for 1 second? So as we said, there's a few things that Fred will forever be remembered by. The Boston Red Sox winning the World Series last year. I wanted to present Mary Ann with the Boston Red Sox World Series champion hat, which I will give to her. A bag from Everett Bank. This was Fred's life. The bank was Fred's life. He truly loved working at the bank. These are things that this is Fred Antonelli. If you know Fred, these things are Fred Antonelli, true and true. More importantly, I wanted to give Mrs. Antonelli flowers. I apologize, on my behalf. And also to read a citation to the Antonelli family. Citation be it here known to all that the Everett City Council, in his honor, the mayor, offers his sincerest congratulations to the Antonelli family on this solemn and momentous occasion, recognizing Fred Antonelli's service to his country as a Sergeant First Class in the United States Army. The entire city government extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued good fortune given this 5th day of October 2019, sponsored by myself and the entire city government. Mr. Antonelli, thank you for sharing Fred with all of us, and we will forever remember him and love him.
At this time, we'd like to hear from Phil Antonelli. Phil is the oldest son, as he proudly boasted to me. And then, of course, there's Christopher. And then, of course, Greg. And then Lisa. So, just, I was educated on the order of birth. And so, Fred, you're a great man, great guy. We love you. Come on down.
Good morning. out of the three of us, though, Lisa still holds the card, let me tell you. So, from my mother, myself, my brother Chris, my sister, my brother Greg, we want to thank everybody for coming here this morning. It was a very special day, and we are honored by the square dedication. As I listen to everybody here, it's kind of the same, and as I write this, I truly believe it. My dad was a very proud man, and he was very proud to serve in the Army and be part of the armed services. He's held many jobs over a lifetime to support us children and my mother and give us a better life, but being in the service was the most rewarding to him. I can remember growing up, there'd be things that involved us or something to do with the Army, and he would make sure you go to the Army, and that used to spin my mother up. Dave, you could attest to that, Dave. He was a man of very few words about his earlier days in Vietnam, but we know that he was very committed on his active duty status. Growing up, I personally, and I could probably attest to my two brothers and my sister, you would always drive by the square dedications, and someday you would think, and you would hope that our dad would get his honors. We are graciously thankful and humbled by this gesture today. Never would we think this day would come, but it is upon us. And like Mikey said, it's kind of a bittersweet, only losing Dad 2 months ago. We're still in that grieving process, so to have this today is really, really special. Our dad was a very caring person and a loving person. He was selfless. It was never about him. It was always about family and friends, and how could he help them before he helped himself. And I think that's kind of the traits that he instilled in us kids, the four of us, and that's what made him special. The void in our heart is broken. We miss him. We can only remember all the great times that we had as a family, and all the times you got to spend with the people that are here today. I know, like Carlos said, he's looking down with a big smile saying, I don't believe you're doing this and making a big ordeal of this today. But it's your day, Dad, and you deserve it. So in closing, I want to thank you again. And I want to God bless America and God bless everybody that's here today to celebrate with us. Thank you.
At this time, I'd ask everybody to please stand for the playing of taps. At this time, I would ask Mayor Carlo Di Maria to come forward along with the Antonelli family for the purpose of uncovering and announcing of the U.S. Army Sergeant First Class Fiorindo Fred Antonelli Memorial Square. Mr. Mayor, Antonelli family, come forward, please.